Hey all, welcome to this week's NGS video. This week, after a 15-hour downtime, we saw the release of Braver in NGS, among other things, like a slew of bug fixes. How does this affect us as Techters? I'll be going over that and more. Before we do though, my name's Zan, and I make NGS videos here on YouTube weekly. I also stream every Friday night on Twitch. That link's in the description below. Finally, as with any video on YouTube, hitting that subscribe button is always appreciated. Let's get started with the easy item. Does Braver bring anything to the table for Techters? Not really. I wouldn't consider on Ranger's level of don't take except for a single corner case, but it seems like a lesser version of Hunter's sub. You get Mighty Guard, which reduces damage taken by 10% and PP consumption by 10 after a guard, as well as up to 10% more HP regained from rest assigns, and up to 10% of your HP back after recovering from being launched or knocked back from an attack. Everything else relies on Brave Combat, Katana, Bow, or a combination of the three. I attempted to build a decent subclass tree, but I don't think it's as clean cut as the rest between subclass feasible and not. At this point, if you want to try it out, take the 5 points in Rest to Effect Damp and Breakfall PP gain each, the 1 point in Mighty Guard, and let the other 9 points just sit there. But what about Brave Combat? It only says Braver weapons, so why don't we go with that? If you recall from the video where we dug into the wand and rod differences, techs cast based on the weapon that's out. Katana and bows are both non-tech weapons, so we can't cast techs from those weapons. The video currently playing in the background is from when I was testing PP consumption and regen using a Prim, Katana, Wand, multi-weapon, and no units. I use the same amount of PP whether Brave Combat is active or not. I also tested the hit count from Final Bonus and didn't regen any PP when Brave Combat expired, as I was using Foy via Wand instead of the Katana part. So if Braver isn't what I'm excited the most about as a Techer, what is there? We got a boatload of gifts today, and to see why you need to look into the lower part of the notes. One PSA though is halfscapes are now material items, so make sure you don't forget to grab one or more if you use the store all material storage button. Anyway, we got a bunch of quality of life improvements to Talus, Barda, and Zondi. Talus and Barda's improvements are related, and now its angle of fire is higher. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of the old style, but this will allow for a sharper angle, so you don't have to worry about missing if you're too close to the mob. I know I've had that issue when testing Convergence Shot early on, as well as leveling my Force alts with Barda. So give both of them another try if you didn't feel like you liked them before. Those who have been using it though, I'm sure will feel like it's a huge improvement. On top of those changes, I think I saw someone counted almost 250 bug fixes on the list covering things like elemental down adjustments do not apply correctly when fighting Veteran Varus. I could make the joke that half of them were fixes to chain trigger, but gunners have already had them kicked enough times by Sega. I'll have the link to the full changelog and bug fix report, but the ones I wanted to highlight related to Techters specifically are these on the screen. Of these, I think Photon Flare is the least relevant on the list, but I know that there's a decent number of rod users, so this is useful for them. The last one is most impactful on the list, as this fixes the infinite counter bug. If you didn't know, there was a bug that allowed you to spam counter even if you weren't actually countering. As counters are strongest move, it allowed for some obscene amounts of damage. Another thing to add to the list of positive changes is Straga is now an all-weapon set like Resurger, which means there's now a Straga Talus, which means you can smash that together with your Straga Wand or Rod and not have to worry about Resurger. At least that's assuming you don't already have a built-out Resurger or Glisten Wand. Like I mentioned in the video that's popping up in the upper right-hand corner, Straga is more of a side grade if you have a Resurger or Catlea already, but if you haven't built a weapon yet, it is slightly better depending on the fixa. Of course, the Evil Coat series is going to have all weapons as well, and that's dropping with the Mining Rig Urgent in 2 weeks. Details on that weapon series hasn't been announced yet, but I imagine it's yet another side grade, since Sega's been doing a pretty good job at making sure things stay somewhat balanced. Make sure to subscribe for when I get the video done, if you're interested in seeing how that works out. And I think with that, it covers most of the changes that affects Techters specifically. Like I said previously, I'll have links down below for all the changes if you want to look for yourself and see if anything's affecting you. If you thought the video was useful, hit that like button. If you're interested in that Evil Coat comparison video, how to use G-Shade and other screenshot tips, or the long-promised episode 2 story summary video, pressing the subscribe button and bell icon will let you know when I release those. If you want to check out the stream, I'm live every Friday night at twitch.tv/ZanTM, and I'd be more than happy to answer your questions or comments there. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again next week. Have a good one.